Yo, what's going on, YouTube family? This is Walter. This is Uncut Atlanta Sports. We're live again. I've calmed down a little bit from earlier when I was live streaming about my Braves, but they won today, so that kind of put me in a little bit of a better mood. But nevertheless, we talking about the Falcons tonight. We're gonna talk about all of these people talking about the Falcons are not contenders. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? They say that the Falcons are not good enough to contend this year. So we're going to talk about this. We got to talk about this. Now, I wanted to do this live stream the other day when I was at work, but I was having some trouble with the Wi-Fi. So I said, might as well do this on my weekly Sunday live stream. So we back in the building. Please let me know you in the building. Send some love in the chat. Let me know who you are. Let me know where you're checking in from if you want to. But yeah, hit that like button too as you come in the building. But we're going to give it probably 15 to 20 more seconds and we're going to get started. Oh yeah, let me get this shared over. Let me get this shared over to X like always. Again, if you're not following me on X, be sure to head over to X. Follow me at Uncut Atlanta SPO. That's Uncut Atlanta SPO. So we're going to get this thing shared over. Let the people on X know that we in the building. Bam, there we go. We on X. And we're going to post it as a post on YouTube. Let's see here. Bam. Share. Oh, yeah, whatever. We'll do it. Bam, bam. Okay. So, we in. We're in the building. Let's see here. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about the Falcons again today. We're gonna be talking about this whole notion that they're not contenders. I can't believe it. And of course, it came from ESPN that saying that the Falcons are not contenders, and that's where a lot of these rumors have drum up attention regarding trades and stuff. So go ahead, jump on in. Somebody jump in. Let me know where you're checking in from, and let me know you in the building, and we'll get started. So we already over on X. If you're not, again, following me on X, head over to X. Follow me on X at Uncut Atlanta SPO. That is Uncut Atlanta SPO. So whatever, we're going to go ahead and jump into this. Now, there's a lot that's being discussed about the Falcons, especially Jesse Bates. There's a lot going around about Jesse Bates. And the reason why there's a lot going around about Jesse Bates is because he's a free agent at the end of this season. And so the Falcons risk not getting anything for him if they allow him to finish this season without trading him, and they risk losing him and not getting anything back in return because they don't seem to be financially as if they're going to be in the position to pay him next year. They might. Of course, you know how they do with these salary caps. The salary cap is going up $20 million next year, so we'll see. They might surprise all of us and re-sign him. I really do think that they're going to re-sign him. I hope that they get him re-signed. But let's talk about this that's on the screen, if they are contenders or pretenders. And in my opinion, the Falcons are contenders. Now, I get it. There are some questions swirling around about the quarterback, and there are some things swirling around about the defense, especially on the end. I admit, I am a little bit worried about the edge rushing. I'm a little bit worried, especially if we just try to patch up the holes that's going to be left with Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. being gone. Now, of course, Jalen Walker done for the season. He gone. Ain't no coming back for Jalen Walker this year. And James Pierce Jr., he's done. He's done pretty much too. He's going to be out for 6. I say 8 games, but he might get 6 games. But, man, that's half of your season. So there are some concerns. However, this team is well built to win right now. Right now. All of that nonsense and foolishness about them not contending is beyond ridiculous. So where did that come from? Where did that come from? The whole notion? Well, that came from none other than the ESPN article by the gentleman by the name of Seth Walder. And he's not the only one on ESPN that feels this way. So as you can see, he actually said that he proposes that the Atlanta Falcons are not contenders for the 2026 season and should consider trading safety Jesse Bates III. The analyst suggests the team should focus on future cap space rather than a championship run this year. That's insanity. Now, again, I get it. I understand. I understand that there's financial implications if you keep Jesse Bates. I understand the Falcons have paid a lot of money already during this offseason run, just within a few players on the offensive side of the ball. With Bijan, who else? Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts and Drake London. And then you did the massive deal for the guard, Bergeron, for Matthew Bergeron, which, again, I wasn't crazy. I wasn't just jumping over the wall about that deal to Matthew Bergeron. I'm not mad at it, but I wasn't happy with it either, because that's a lot of money to pay an offensive lineman. That is a whole lot of money. And so I like what we've done this offseason. I think that this is the best skill set players that we have, period. We have the best skill players on the offensive side of the ball. And I think we have 2 quarterbacks that's going to put us over the top in Tua as well as Jack Strand. I'll take either one of those 2. I'll take Michael Penix, only if he's the best quarterback that can win us football games. But this whole notion, what Seth Walder and the other pundits over at ESPN, what they're saying, that this team is not contenders, it's just not true. It's just not true whatsoever. So, again, I get it. Trading Jesse Bates would make a little bit of sense if you had a team that was not in contention this year. If you had a team that you knew wasn't going to do anything this year. But this team got plenty. This team is built on defense. Even missing the 2 guys, James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker, this team is still built to win this year. Period. They built to win. On the offensive side of the ball, you got guys that's ready to win. You got ready to win talent on the offensive side of the ball. You still have a solid offensive line. All of that. You got it all. So why in the world would you trade Jesse Bates right now? I would keep him. I would keep him because this year is win now, a win-ready team. I would keep him, and whatever happens next offseason just happens. But I'm not going to trade away the cornerstone of the secondary. with this win ready team that we have. Again, there are some questions swirling around about the quarterback, and I agree. We got to see. We got to see what's going to happen with the quarterback situation. But all that other stuff, man, all that other stuff, this team is ready to win right now. So, again, Kevin Stefanski, he tried to put an end to the rumors. He gave an update this past week and said, hey, his back is hurt. That's why he's not playing. That's why he was not in practice and everything, talking about Jesse Bates, that his back. And again, what's up with these back injuries? I said this a while ago. What's up with these back injuries, man? Why are all these back injuries? Now had Tua with a back injury. Now you got Jesse Bates with a back injury. What's going on with these back injuries? But he cleared it up. He said Kevin Stefanski dismissed trade rumors. Dismissed trade rumors surrounding star safety Jesse Bates, clarifying that his recent practice absence was due to a minor back injury rather than a contract dispute or impending deal. So Kevin Stefanski is saying that Jesse Bates is not going anywhere. But again, like I said, when it comes to these coaches and press conferences and all of that stuff and player press conferences and all, I don't really pay too much attention to those. I don't put too much stock into interviews and all of that stuff. You know, when this channel gets bigger or whatever, I'm sure it's going to grow because I'm going to keep posting on the channel because I enjoy doing it. But I'm not out trying to get interviews from players and coaches. Hey, if they want to come on the channel and talk, cool. I'm not going to deny them. But I just know what you're going to get. You're going to get coach speak. You're going to get player speak. You're going to get the company line told. You're not going to get the truth in these interviews whatsoever. So you got to take what Kevin Stefanski said in regards to this just being a back injury, and you have to say, okay, it might be something to that. It might be something to the rumors, because the teams are not going to come up and tell you, we're trying to trade him. Yeah, we're shopping him. We're trying to trade him. They're not going to tell you that. Of course, they'll say, yeah, he's injured. Yeah, he's missed time because he's injured. But 2 weeks later, you get a headline pop up on your phone. This player has been traded. And so, yeah, it's definitely, it's crazy. So Kevin Stefanski, he's trying to put an end to all of the rumors. But for the most part, man, I just want to, I'm tripping on this whole thing that the Falcons are not contenders. People are calling them pretenders. I don't believe that. I don't believe that whatsoever. Period. This team is ready to win right now. Let's look at the schedule. So they got a bit of a schedule, though. I'll give it to them. I will give that to all the people that's doubting them. Absolutely, I will. They got the Steelers. You know, we don't know how that's going to turn out with Aaron Rodgers being back. We don't know. This Panthers game, I got my eye on this Panthers game. That's going to be interesting. Again, you got the Packers. That's going to be a good one. Falcons and the Saints, they should beat the Saints by 100 points if possible. The Saints, they really should beat them by 200 points. The Saints are bad. They're going to be pretty bad. I feel bad for the Saints. And you got the Ravens. That's going to be another good one. Another tough game. You got the Bears. That's going to be a tough one. 49ers. That's going to be a tough one. The Buccaneers. I don't think that the Buccaneers are going to be a tough one. I don't think so. I think the Buccaneers are going to have a down year this year just based on the amount of unhappy people right now. They got a bunch of people ticked off over there on that roster in Tampa Bay right now. If you don't believe me, just take a trip down there. I go down there multiple times a week for work, and you just hearing the people down there speak. You know, they're not too confident right now in that team this year, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Buccaneers. The Bengals. I mean, yeah, Jamar Chase. Yeah, they got T. Higgins. Yeah, you got Joe Burrow. But, man, those guys, that team overall has stunk over the last few years. So, I don't know what to say about that one. Again, they got the Chiefs. Don't know what to say about the Chiefs, especially if Patrick Mahomes is still not healthy by this time, which I'm assuming he's going to be ready. What, this is like week 12, something like that. Week 8. So I don't know. He might be ready by then. The Vikings, we don't know what the Vikings are going to do. We don't know how good they're going to be. The Lions, we anticipate the Lions being pretty good. Cleveland, they should blow Cleveland out. The Commanders, we'll see. Got the Buccaneers again. And then we got the Saints again, who we should blow out. And you got the Panthers then you have the Panthers, who you should beat. Who I should say you should beat, but the Panthers are going to be a tough team. They're going to be a tough team. So, no doubt that this is a tough schedule. It's a tough schedule. However, this team can beat everybody that I just rattled off on this schedule if we get the quarterback position right. And I think that we have 2 quarterbacks that can win right now. That can win right now. And let me see. Let me make sure I got all the settings right, because let's see here. Okay. Yeah, I guess we just don't have many people tuned in tonight. That's okay. That's okay. We'll still talk about it. But yeah, they still should win. They should. I anticipate at least somewhere in the ballpark of a 10 to 12 game win record this year. I expect a win. I expect us to win 10 to 12, between 10 to 12 games. And so this whole notion that this team is not contenders, that's crazy. That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk, man. So this team is ready to win right now, and we can win right now. So ESPN, with this article, especially Seth Walder and the other guys over there, saying that this team should trade Jesse Bates because they're not actual contenders. Baloney. Absolutely baloney. Baloney if baloney was a baloney. No, there's no way you trade him because you consider this season a throw in the white towel season, as if we're not ready to win this year. No, that's crazy. That's crazy talk. So again, you don't let. That's why I started this channel. That's why I started this channel, because I got so tired of these guys like on ESPN and all this, just with all the sport. Man, I don't want to hear those. I don't want to hear that stuff, man. I don't want to hear them. Rory, what's going on, brother? Shout out to you, Rory. Thank you for checking in, my brother. Appreciate you, man, checking in. Hope you had a good day today, my man. Appreciate you checking in earlier this morning, too, for the Braves live stream. But, again, if you was just honest with me and just said, look, we want to compete this year, but we know we want to get something back for Jesse Bates before letting him just walk in free agency next year, We want to get something for him. I'll respect that. I'll respect that. But you're not going to convince me. You're not going to convince me that this team should get rid of him because they're not going to compete this year. That's complete and utter nonsense. So they're 100% contenders. Period. They're contenders. They got a tough schedule. I'll admit. The Falcons have a very tough schedule this year. But I still do believe that there's about anywhere from the ballpark. I say a minimum of 10 games I think that they win, but it could be 12. And I think 10 games should win you the NFC South. And again, in football, you just got to get in there. You just got to get into the playoffs, and anything can happen in one game. In one game, anybody can win in the playoffs. It's not like basketball and baseball with a series that you're playing. These are one game playoffs. So no matter what your record is, that first game, no matter what your record is during the season, or no matter if you barely got in, you got in through the wild card, you came in through your division, whatever. It don't matter. Don't matter if you're playing the last team to get into the playoffs. It don't matter. If you get in there, anything can happen. So I like our chances with 10 games minimum getting us into the playoffs with the division title. And once you get in, anything could happen. So if you just tuning in, we're talking about all of this stuff that's out here in the national news, especially with ESPN. There was a lot being said on ESPN, Seth Walder and other pundits over there saying that the Falcons are not contenders, and that's why they should trade Jesse Bates. And of course, Kevin Stefanski, he addressed the rumors surrounding Jesse Bates by saying that, hey, he's okay. He's just dealing with a bad back and all of that. But again, as I just said, you have to take what these coaches say, what these players say. You got to take all of that stuff with a grain of salt, because they're not going to tell you the truth in these press conferences. Kevin Stefanski is not going to say, yep, we're considering trading him. They might be, I don't know. The Falcons might be considering trading Jesse Bates. They're not going to come out and tell us. They'll say like what Kevin Stefanski said, that, hey, he's dealing with a back injury. They'll say things like that. They'll say, yeah, we're not moving on from him. And then a week later, you get a press release or you get breaking news pop up on your phone. Hey, Jesse Bates has been traded for 2 second-round picks or 2 first-round picks. I don't know, 2 third-round picks. So it can definitely happen. I'm not putting it past them. I don't want it to happen. I don't want that. I think that's a bad signal to the team by trading him. If you trade him, you're basically telling the team, hey, we're not trying to win this year. We know we're not going to win this year. That's what you telling the fan base. You telling the fan base, hey, we're not going to win this year. And you don't want to do that with this roster that you have. Period. Whatsoever. Rory says they do have a cheaper option in Brown that we got from the Eagles. Yeah, I think that. See, my thing is, Rory, I believe that let's say they traded Jesse Bates. Let's say they traded him. I still think that we could. It's gonna be rough, but I still think that we can get by with what we have. I think we can still get by with what we have. It's just going to be very tough. So, but I think that, in my opinion, now this is just my opinion. I'm just going to take my chances with Jesse Bates and keep him on the roster. Keep him on the roster and let what happens next year in the offseason just happen. Because again, you have Brown. What's the other safety? Lord have mercy. I can't believe I can't remember this guy. We got another safety too. I'm terrible with names, y'all. And his face is like right here in my head. I'm terrible with names. I told y'all that before. Names I am terrible with. But we got another guy too. I can't think of his doggone it name. But we got the guys. And we have cheaper options too as well. But I just think that with Jesse Bates, we're definitely top of the line. It's especially with us not having Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. And I don't even know if they're going to try to bring in a free agent edge rusher. I don't know if they're going to try to bring in somebody to kind of put in, fill in for Jalen Walker this season. I said in a video as well as my live streams last week that I would love to have Hassan Reddick. I would love to have DeMarco Hellum. That's it. Appreciate you, Rory. That's it, man. Yep, but I would love to have him. I would love. I feel confident with Hellums and the secondary that we have, even without Jesse Bates. But it makes it harder. It makes it very hard. And you just can't trade a guy like Jesse Bates with this roster that we have that's ready to win. So yeah, these guys, the national pundits, they're saying that we're not going to be contending this year. So they don't feel like we gonna be in the mix for anything. Not even the NFC South. Like the NFC South is one of the most wide open divisions out there. In my opinion, I think it's going to be a Falcons and Carolina division head to head, going down possibly to that last game of the season when we play Carolina. That's going to determine this division. But it's wide open. So why wouldn't they continue? Anybody that gets into the playoffs, it don't matter how they get into the playoffs, no matter if they get in through the wild card, no matter if they get in through through winning their division, no matter how they get in. Once you get in, everybody is a contender. That's it. When you get into the playoffs in any sport, you are a contender. When you get in, you have the chance to win the whole thing. You can't win the whole thing if you don't get in. So everybody is a contender who gets into the playoffs. And so this team will get into the playoffs, in my opinion. Now, they might not. I'm a fan. I'm a realistic fan. So I'm just looking from the outside over the fence, seeing the talent that we have. And I'm saying that based on what we have, we should get in. So these guys that's on ESPN talking about that the Falcons pretty much going to have a bad season. Going to pretty much have a bad season. That would be, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So again, y'all, we talking about tonight. If you just joining in, we're talking about this whole Falcons fiasco, this whole Jesse Bates fiasco. We talking about whether or not the Falcons are pretenders or contenders, and there's so much out there now, people calling the Falcons pretenders. It's just absolutely crazy. So I don't believe this. I just don't believe it. I don't believe that the Falcons are a bad team at all. I don't believe that. So again, Rory says, and we just picked up a safety from the Jets. Yeah, we got Keidron Smith. We picked up Keidron Smith from the off of waivers from the Jets. He got released by the Jets. Now, I don't know what their plans are for Keidron Smith. Don't know. But I know they signed him like on the 6th, like a few days ago. But he's coming. They signed him when they moved Jalen Walker to the injury reserve with the torn ACL. So Rory says play top contender this year. Yeah, man. They contenders, man. They're contenders. So I don't know where all this come from. I don't know where all this come from that they're not contenders. I don't know. You can't look and see what this team have on that offensive side of the ball is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And crazy in a good way. So yeah, they signed Keidron Smith here on the 6th off of waivers from the Jets. And so that's an additional depth piece that they have. And I don't know if they bulking up in preparation of trading Jesse Bates. We don't know. Again, I know people are kind of throwing it out there that, hey, they're not gonna do it. But look, man, I don't put nothing past these teams. I don't put anything past them. I wouldn't be shocked if they did it. I would not be shocked if they traded Jesse Bates, because I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the kind of money that Jesse Bates is going to be asking for next offseason is going to be way too rich for the Falcons' liking, especially all the money they just threw out here on the offensive side of the ball. Now, I know some people, I saw some articles with people trashing that Matthew Bergeron signing. Now, look, I already talked about that. I wasn't crazy about that contract, but I wasn't mad at it. You had to ensure that you kept the line. You had a decent offensive line last year and the year before that. Most of the offensive lines it's returning outside of Caleb McGarry, who left. But that's why I think that they did what they did with Matthew Bergeron. You wanted to keep that line intact. Even though Caleb McGarry played on the right side, Matthew Bergeron is primarily on the left side. I spoke about earlier that, hey, Matthew Bergeron, if it was me, if I was the coach, if I was the general manager, if I was Matt Ryan, I'll move his big behind over to the right side, especially after giving him $96 million. $96 million. Let me get closer to the mic so you hear me. $96 million for a lineman. So I wasn't crazy about it, but I wasn't rioting or nothing about it. I wasn't protesting about it because I knew what they were doing. But that's still a lot of money. So all of the money that they've invested on the offensive side of the ball, I seriously doubt that they're going to be paying defensive players what Jesse Bates is going to be requesting next offseason. So it wouldn't surprise me if they did trade him. And why they are making moves now, you know, you got Helms, you got and then you just signed Keidron Smith from the Jets, who can play safety too as well. So are they building up for it? I don't know. We'll see. Rory says haters are all over the place. Yeah, man. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is why people are saying. And I mean, it's like a lot of the national pundits, man. They are not They're not taking the Falcons seriously. And over the years, I've been on that side to where even rooting for the team, I would say, man, look, we ain't winning nothing this year. Man, we had Desmond Ridder. I was like, man, we not winning nothing. When you had Desmond Ridder starting, I'm like, man, we're not winning nothing. Had Marcus Mariota, no, man, we're not winning nothing, man. Defensive linemen who can't get to the quarterback, defense giving up chunk run plays every play, giving up large play, chunk throwing plays every day. No, man, I was like, man, we're not gonna run. We're not gonna win. No, we're not gonna win with this team. So I'm not too blind that I won't look at what we have and say, look, man, I don't think we're gonna do anything either. But with what we have, I 100% believe that this team, if we get into the playoffs, can get to the Super Bowl and possibly win it. But I definitely believe that we are contenders. Going back to what I was just saying, anytime you get into the playoffs, you are a contender, especially in football, in the NFL. You're not playing a series. It's just one game. The best team won't always win in one game. You just won't. Anything can happen in one game. So you just dip your toe into the playoffs. You just stick your head in there. You got a chance. You have a chance. So if you wasn't just around, we also took a look at the schedule. Again, this schedule is tough. This schedule is tough that they have. It's a tough schedule. I'll give it. They got the Steelers. They got, of course, the Panthers. You got the Packers. We got the Saints. Now, the Saints shouldn't be tough. If we lose against the Saints, I'm going crazy. I'm going to go straight crazy, y'all. You should beat the Saints by like 500 points. The Saints are terrible. Saints are going to be a terrible football team this year. And then you got the Ravens, you got the Bears, you got the 49ers, the Buccaneers. Again, we don't know what the Buccaneers are going to do. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with the Buccaneers. People are mad with. You got a lot of people down there in Tampa Bay mad. I know I've talked to a few people down there. I work down there a lot. So they're not particularly happy right now with this team, the Buccaneers team. And then you got Baker Mayfield, who's mad about money. Vita Vea, that dude is just a linchpin of that defense. He's complaining. He don't want to be there. So you don't know what's going to happen with the Buccaneers. And then, of course, you got the Bengals. You got the Chiefs. We don't know what's going to happen with Patrick Mahomes. We don't know if he's going to be back, although I think he's going to be back for this game. It's like week 8, I think. So he should be back. I don't know, but they have Justin Fields. They signed Justin Fields on the Chiefs just in case. So Justin Fields have beat us in the past. We let Justin Fields walk all over us. So we should still be able to beat the Chiefs. You got the Vikings. We don't know what's going to happen with the Vikings. You got Kyler Murray. You got J.J. McCarthy battling it out. Yeah, they got Addison. They got Justin Jefferson. They got some dogs over there, but we're going to see. That's going to be a tough one. It could be a tough one. The Lions is going to be a tough one. Then we got the Buccaneers again. You got the Saints. You know, the Saints might be tough. They might not. They might be tough. They might not. I think that the Saints are going to be terrible, though. Should beat them by 500 points. And then you end the season with the Panthers. The Panthers are who I'm concerned about, because I want to take care of this division first before we start looking into the postseason, the playoffs. So this thing, it's tough. It's going to be a tough one. But I'm projecting personally 10 to 12 wins. That's what I'm projecting. 10 to 12 wins. Could it be lower? Could it be higher? Yes. But that's just what I think. Rory says that's a good thing. We play better under the radar. Yeah, it's good. It's not bad. I the thing that has me a little worked up about it. What has me a little worked up about it is the fact that they're saying that they're trying to say that that's a reason to trade Jesse Bates because you only keep him if you're gonna actually compete for something. If you're gonna actually compete for the division, if you're gonna actually compete for a Super Bowl. That's what they're saying. They're saying that we shouldn't, that's the only way we should keep him. And because we're not going to be competing for the division nor a Super Bowl, we should trade him and get back draft capital and everything for him. Which it makes sense. It's not a bad idea. It's actually smart. It's actually a smart thing to do. But you wouldn't do that with a team like what we have right now that's able to win, like a win now team. You're not gonna trade that dude. None. That's crazy because you're ready to win right now. The quarterback situation is going to get worked out. We are going to put the best dude, in my opinion. And I hope they don't mess it up. They're going to put the best guy on the center. In my opinion, I think that's going to be either Jack Strand or Tua. Chances are it'll probably be Tua. I'm okay with either one. I would like to have Jack Strand, but I'm okay with Tua. So a lot of people are using the quarterback conundrum to say that, hey, they're not going to do anything. And that's just crazy because there's two quarterbacks on the roster that can win us football games. That can win us 10 to 12 football games. And then we'll see what happens. You get in the playoffs, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So again, Stefanski, he watered down the rumors because it's not just people talking about it. It's actually rumors out here that Jesse Bates is going to get traded. There's rumors about it. It's not just something that we made up here, just YouTubers made up. No, it's actual reports out there that has Jesse Bates linked to the 49ers. It's actual reports that have him linked to getting traded to the 49ers. And of course, you got Raheem Morris out there as the DC now in San Francisco. So it'll be him reuniting with Raheem Morris, so he will be actually comfortable going out there. So that's why I think it is some juice behind the trade rumor allegations. It's some juice behind there because he's connected to Raheem. He played for Raheem Morris for the last couple of years. So, but Kevin Stefanski, he put it down by saying that the reason why Jesse Bates missed all this time from practice is because of his back. Again, he got a bad back like Tua. They got bad backs. Hey, man, look, I don't know. I think Jesse Bates might be married, too. I think he married. I know Tua married. Man, look, y'all can't be doing all that stuff, man, in the bedroom. You can't do it, man. Y'all need to take care of y'all backs, man. Stop tussling around on that bed, in that bedroom. Y'all backs, we need y'all backs, man. We need them things strong. You know, tell your wife, just wait till the season over with. Tell her wait until the season over with. Rory says the Falcons love being underdog. Yeah, man. We underdogs this year. I don't even know how we're underdogs in the NFC South. But we're underdogs for some stinking reason. We are. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know how. I don't know how we are underdogs. But they're trying to squash all the rumors, but I tend to believe them. I don't want them to trade him. I do not want them to trade him. I do not. I want him on the roster because we can win now. But I'm not doubting those rumors. It possibly could happen. It possibly could happen. So that's what we want to talk about tonight. We want to go in and talk about. We probably gonna get ready to end it right here, but we just want to put our spin, put our opinion, put my opinion, I should say, and also let you guys, jump in and chime in what you want to chime in on. Yeah, Rory, man. Yeah, Rory, man. I see you. Yeah, man. They got to stop. You can't be doing all that tussling in the bedroom, man, during the season. You can't do it, man. You got to take care of that back. You can't be doing all of that, man. So like they need to keep their eye. They need to practice celibacy during the season. Oh man. But yeah, man, that's gonna end it, man. We just want to go quickly today. We ain't gonna keep you long, man. Shout out to you, Rory. Thank you for tuning in and checking in the chat, brother. The few people that have tuned in, I really do appreciate you guys. Be sure to stay logged in, stay locked into the channel. Hit that notification bell. Like this live stream if you haven't already. We're gonna be going live probably again tomorrow night at 8:45 again. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Hit the notification bell. And yes, sir, we're going to see y'all on another one. Okay, well, we got Dan. Dan could be his kind. Dan is kind. What's up, man? Appreciate you checking in. Said Jesse is holding in or maybe sitting for trade. I don't think he's hurt. You could be right. That's what I personally believe. That he is possibly gonna get. I believe that he's gonna get traded. I don't want it to happen. I don't want that to happen, but that's what it is. I don't believe the report. I don't believe them saying that he's not hurt. That he's hurt. Again, like I said, I've always believed that you should never listen to these coaches and players and organizations in press conferences because they are not going to tell you the truth. They're not. They're not going to give you the truth. They're going to give you all of that coach speak stuff, that generic stuff. The players are going to give you that generic stuff. Nobody's going to give you the truth of what's really going. They're not. Kevin Stefanski and Matt Ryan, they're not going to go on a press conference right now after practice during training camp and say, yeah, hey, we're holding him out and he's holding in too as well because he's trying to save himself for a trade and we're actively looking to get him traded. They're not going. That's what we as fans. That's what we would like for them to do. That's what we would like for them, but they're not going to do it. And that's why I don't listen to a whole lot of what players and coaches say during press conferences. I rarely watch them. It's very rare that I watch a player press conference or a coach press conference, news conference, or whatever it is you want to call them. I don't listen because you're not going to get, they're just going to blow smoke up your behind. That's it. You're not going to get the genuine, authentic truth. So, Dan Cab is kind. I believe you. I'm right there with you. I don't think that he could be. If he is actually hurt, then Lord, I'm sorry for being not speaking the truth. But me personally on the outside, not having inside information about what's actually going on, I believe that he's holding in. I believe that the Falcons are not pressuring him to practice because they're actively trying to trade him. That's just what I believe. And usually when these reports start swirling around about these trades and everything, usually that's the case. Usually that's the case. So I don't like it. I understand it from a business perspective why they would trade him. But on a personal level and also on a general outlook of the team this season, no, you don't trade him because you have a win now roster. You can win, you can literally contend in the playoffs with this roster. And I know I said let me go back in. I'm gonna keep it going for a few more minutes, y'all. Rory says, will they tell the truth about BJ? That's a good question, Rory. That's a good question, man. I doubt it. I doubt it. I really do. I seriously doubt it. That no team, no matter what sport that you tune into, no, it don't matter what your favorite sport is, whatever professional, whether it be college or professional, nobody is going to give you the truth about players. They're not. They're not going to give you the truth in press conferences and press releases and all of that stuff. Not one time. You could probably count on your hand in the history of sports. On one hand, out of all the sports, you can probably count. Let me be generous. I'll say two hands. You probably can count on two hands out of all of the sports out there, the amount of times that a representative from the front office as well as a coach or player has told the truth during a press conference. You don't get it. They're not going to do it. Dan Calbis-Kine says the back problem and tool claim can't be seen by doctors. Everyone uses it. Yeah, you can't. That's why, when people try to scam insurance companies, when people get into car wrecks, that's the first thing they say hurt they back. That's the first thing people who are scamming is gonna do. They're gonna reach for their back. They're gonna act like they can't walk because of their back. Why? Because it's hard to diagnose problems with the back. It's very hard for doctors to narrow down what's causing problems in someone's back. I don't know why. I'm not a medical doctor. I ain't about to sit here and start talking like I do. No, but I do know that, and I've heard doctors say that before. It's very hard to determine if somebody has a bad back or not. Very hard. And so that's why they use that a lot with something like this with Jesse Bates or with Tua or whatever. With Tua, they could have been sitting Tua out, holding him back, saying he has a bad back, just to get a more in-depth look at Jack Strand. Just so Jack Strand can get the reps with the first team. So again, they're not going to tell you that in the they're not at the end of practice on a training camp day. They're not going to go to the podium, Kevin Stefanski isn't, and say, hey guys, you know what? We are actually considering Jack Strand to be our number one quarterback. He's probably going to be our number one quarterback. But in order for us to get a more in-depth look, we're going to sit Tua on the bench during camp. We're going to allow him to get reps with like the second and third team. We're not going to allow him to take first team reps. All the first team reps are going to go to Jack Strand because that's who we want to see. They're not going to say that. They're going to make up something like, yeah, he got a bad back. He had something. He had, what's the word they used? I can't even remember. It's like back flared up. He had a flare up. His back flared up. Again, these dudes back they backs are fine when they at the bank cashing them checks though. All these cats, they backs are okay. Everybody got a bad back, but they back is fine walking to the bank. So again, I'm not buying this. I'm not buying personally the thing with Jesse Bates that he has a back injury. I truly believe that they are shopping him. I don't want them to do it because I think that this team is ready to win right now. They're ready to win right now. And that's where these guys like Seth Walder at ESPN, that's where they are getting these ideas from. They're saying that because they're not contenders this year, you need to trade him. You need to trade him so that you can get back something in return. And that's just, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I understand the business side of it, but absolutely not. This team is contenders. Period. Rory says they told the truth about BR when he was out. Bates. Yeah, they did. But I think with Rory, I think with Jesse Bates though, I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong. Because all of this stuff, we just speculating. We just fans that's trying to figure out what's really going on. But I don't, they could be telling the truth about him, about Jesse Bates. They could be. But deep down within me, I just don't buy it. Now, if it is, I'm wrong. Cool. We got him. We're not going to trade him. Cool. I'm not mad about that. I want him. I think we need him. Especially with this, especially if we think we're going to contend, we need him. We need him big time. So I'm not going to be mad. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it, man. I think he's doing the whole hold in. And the team is trying to keep it bottled because fans out there like me and you who are watching, we believe that this team can win. Now, in the behind closed doors up at Flowery Branch with leadership, they may not feel the same way. They may not feel the same way. They may feel like this team is not ready to win yet this year. They might. On paper, we're looking at it from the outside like, man, this team, we should win. We got the pieces to win. But again, we don't know what they're talking. We don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. We don't know what their plans are. We just don't know. We don't know if they are looking at the team as being win. Even if they have said it in press conferences, even I think Matt Ryan has said it already. Kevin Stefanski have said it. The Jeff Olbrich have said it. Arthur Blank has said it. They all have said that this year they're trying to win. But of course they're going to tell you that. The Jets organization is telling their fans in press conferences that that team is built to win this year. And we know that that's not true. The Cleveland Browns are telling their fan base, hey, our team, we can win this year. They're not going to win anything this year. The Saints, New Orleans, they're over there in the swamp telling those people, hey, we got a team that can win this year. They don't have a team that's going to win. We know that. In their meetings, in their offices, they know that. So us looking on the outside, we look at our team and we say, man, these dudes are pretty good. Yeah, we got to get the quarterback right. Yes, we have to do something about the edges. We got to make sure that we got our bases covered. Again, I would love for us to sign Hassan Reddick. I would love for that to happen. Sign Hassan Reddick and allow him to take that in what Jalen Walker is leaving with his injury. And I think that that'll be a perfect fit. He's a plug and play dude. He's already ready to play. He's already played with Jeff Ulbrich. He knows what Jeff Ulbrich likes to run. No, you're not trying to build around Hassan Reddick. No, you're not. You just want a body in there. You want somebody that can basically take up space while Jalen Walker is absent. And at the same time, get you maybe 3.5 to 4 sacks. He don't have to give you you're going to be hard pressed to find somebody to give you 5.5, almost 6 sacks. You're going to be hard pressed to find that. But you have a better chance bringing in someone like that who's already familiar with the scheming that the defensive coordinator likes to run. He's a plug and play dude. So that's what I would like to see happen. Dan Cab is kind says Matt Ryan didn't come back to tank. Exactly. I hope, I know that's what I'm saying. Like I'm hoping that he don't feel that way. I'm hoping that he don't feel, because this roster is not a tanking roster. So that's why I'm saying that's why we need to keep Bates. That's why. Because this team is not a tanking team. But what I was saying is that they tell us that in the press conferences. They tell us that they want to win. But what are they saying behind closed doors? What are they saying behind closed doors? They tell the media what they want, what they think we want to hear. That could be true. They could, but because again, you're not going to get the truth in press conferences. You're not going to get the truth with these interviews and stuff like that. Rory says, I think he's hurt. They do a lot of work out. Atlanta can't take another tank year. Yeah, I agree. I agree, man. I agree. This year, this is not the year to start trading away guys right now. Not the year. Not your glue guy like a Bates. This is not the time to do that. I don't care what your plans are. I don't care if you're trying to replenish your your draft capital or whatever. I don't care if you feel like you don't have a single chance. If you don't even have a 1% chance of signing him next offseason, you don't take him away and send that message to the team that you don't expect them to win. That move right there can destroy the whole season. That move, if they traded him before the start of the season, that would destroy probably the whole season. Because again, the guy, they're not gonna say, yeah, man, I can't stand, I can't believe the general manager did that. I can't believe Matt Ryan did that. Traded Jesse Bates. That took all the air out of the team right there. They're not gonna say that. But that's what could happen, because Jesse Bates is who makes this defense elite. He's who makes the defense elite. He takes so much pressure off of A.J. Terrell, because I want you to take a look at a lot of video clips from last season. All of the plays that Jesse Bates saved, of course, Hughes. You know Hughes stayed getting tore up over there. He stayed getting tore up. And so with Hughes and A.J. Terrell, even A.J. Terrell gave up a lot to receivers, but you had that net back, that safety net back there in Bates who minimized the mistakes that the DBs were making. So you got to have that. You can't get rid of them. So if y'all are thinking that I'm rooting for a tank year, no sir. I've said this team is ready to win now. I don't want them to trade him. Period. But what I'm saying is, do the Falcons really feel that way? Do they really feel that way? They tell us they do. But again, are they just blunt? Are they telling us what we want to hear? Because again, they're not going to come in and tell you. They're not going to come in and tell you that they don't expect the team to be any good this year. They're not going to tell it. And I don't expect them to do that. Not with the money that they've thrown around on that offensive side of the ball this year. I absolutely do not think that they're setting this year up for a tank year. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you got to take what these guys say with a grain of salt. You just have to, unfortunately. So that's what that's the whole gist of this live stream. We want to talk about whether or not the Falcons are contenders or pretenders. A lot of people out there are saying that they are pretenders. All the so-called experts over at ESPN and Fox Sports and all of that stuff, those are where all of these reports are stemming from about Jesse Bates. All of the reports are stemming from those major outlets, primarily ESPN, saying that they're not contending for anything this year, so that's why they need to trade him. And I do not like that's not true. The Falcons are absolutely contenders and a wide open NFC South. Why would you say I think the Saints are the worst team and I'm not just saying that just to say that because I'm a Falcon fan and the rivalry between the Saints and the Falcons and all of that. I'm not even saying excuse me, y'all. I'm not even saying that because of the rivalry. I'm saying it because they're honestly a bad team. But even with the Saints, they have a chance in the NFC South. As bad as that is, they have a chance. Because I just think that I don't think that the Saints are going to do anything in the NFC South, but there's a lot of questions swirling around with the Buccaneers. A whole lot of questions. And again, I think it's going to be a two-horse race. Carolina and the Falcons. That's who I think is going to be competing down to that last game of the season. Because here's the schedule. If you look at the schedule with the Falcons, it's a tough schedule. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to deny that. I'll go through it again. You got the Steelers. You got the Panthers. The Steelers going to be, we don't know. We don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. We don't know. That defense, I think, is pretty good with the Steelers this year. The Panthers, we know the Panthers have always given us fits. We know the Panthers have always given us fits and everything. We got the Packers. That's going to be a tough one. We got the Saints. We should beat the Saints. You got the Ravens. Look, the Ravens, I don't know what to say about the Ravens. I just don't. I think we should beat the Steelers. The Panthers, I'm going to put a question mark by that. The Packers, I think we match up well against the Panthers. I really do. I think we match up well against the Panthers. We should beat the Packers. We should beat the Saints. We should beat the Ravens. The Bears are going to be a tough one. The 49ers, they got injuries already, so we don't know with the 49ers. And then you got the Buccaneers again. And again, we don't know what the Buccaneers are going to be. We don't know. We just don't know. The Bengals. People look at the Bengals and freak out because of Joe Burrow, but the Bengals might not be any good. The Bengals haven't been good for the last 2 years or so. So I'm not worried about the Bengals. The Chiefs don't even know if they're going to have Patrick Mahomes. So this is going to be like week 8. And they got Justin Fields. Justin Fields has destroyed us the last couple of times. So I don't know. But we should beat the Chiefs. The Vikings, we should beat the Vikings. The Lions are going to be a tough one. The Browns, we should beat the brakes off of the Browns. The Commanders, we should beat the Commanders. Got the Buccaneers again. We should win. We should win. And again, we got the Saints. We should win. And we got the Panthers to end the season. That's the game I think is going to be a deciding factor game. That game against the Panthers. That last game of the season. I believe that that's going to be a deciding game. But I 100% believe that this team, we're looking at probably somewhere between 10 at a minimum. I believe that we're looking at like a 10 to 12 win season. That's what I'm estimating. Based on what we just looked at with that schedule, I'm in my mind tallying up 10 to 12 runs. I mean 10, I said runs like baseball. 10 to 12 wins. And we should get it. We should get 10 to 12 wins. Now, if we come, I think that probably 9 wins is going to get you the division. 9 wins is probably going to get you the division. And that would be but especially one game. You're talking about a 1-game playoff in football. Anything can happen. So these guys over on ESPN who are saying trade Jesse Bates because we're not going to contend for anything this year. And here it is, we're sitting in the NFC South to where we are the best team in the NFC South. That's absolutely insane to say something like trading because we're not going to compete this year. That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. If we were talking about the Saints, okay, I'll believe you. But this team, even though there are still questions around the quarterback position, I think that defense is deep. With Jesse Bates, the defense is deep. Dan Cab is kind says 2nd round pick and a good right tackle that can start for Jesse or no deal. That's not bad. That's not bad. Rory says Uncut, we are deep at the spot that's cheaper. Next year they supposed to have a little money. Yeah, exactly. I agree. And Rory says we are going to have a great season, 14-3. That'll be good. I'll take 14-3. If we go 14-3, man, you want to see a happy Walter? You want to see me happy? You let us be 14-3. Man, that'll be a beautiful thing, man. That'll be a beautiful thing. I do think that with 10 wins minimum, I think that'll get us the division easily this year. I think it'll get us the division, and we can get into the playoffs. And again, anything can happen. Dan Calvis-Kine says Tua was undefeated at 32-0 when Miami held the other team to 21 points. We got the defense. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like people who are crapping on Tua, I keep bringing it back to they must don't remember what Tua did to the Falcons. Like, he carved us up, and the defense is better this year, in my opinion. But he beat the brakes off of us. I was at that game. He beat the brakes off of us. Tua did. And if you got a good defense that can hold the opposing offense and put the ball in Tua's hands, he not gonna have to do all that throwing. Although we got the offensive weapons on at receiver as well as tight end, he ain't gonna have to do all of that because they've already said, and I actually do believe them, they've said that their focus is gonna be running the football, and it should be, especially with Brian Robinson back and Bijan up. You got the best, in my opinion, you got the best backfield in the NFL. You have the best backfield in the NFL. And if you can just be an average quarterback with the receivers that we have, if you Dan, thank you, Dan. Dan, appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna call you DK. I'm gonna call you DK, man. That's because I'm trying to read your name, your handle on here, and I know I was butchering it. I'm sorry, so I'm gonna call you DK. Rory says great point. So Rory is referring to Tua's record when the defense holds the team to 21 points. So exactly. Yep, and he had one. DK, you say he had one eye. Yep, he only had one eye that game. He had one eye that game. We found out at the end of the, did we find? I think I found out after the game. After the game was over with, that he was basically playing with one eye. And so I was like, man, that dude beat the brakes off of us with one eye, man. Oh, man. So that's why I said you need to be careful about crapping on him, man, because I think that if he gets the starting job, I think this team is gonna be good. If Strand, if he got it, I think we're gonna be good. So either way, I think we're gonna be okay. Either way, man. But it just got me fired up. It got me fired up, man, when I was fired up earlier. If y'all didn't, I know a lot of y'all didn't watch the Braves live stream that I did earlier this morning, but I was fired up with my Braves and everything about how they can't hit good pitching. And I was fired up hearing all this news about Jesse Bates, and the reason why these people think so is because this team is not a contender. That's just nonsense, man. It's just nonsense. Atlanta Bird Gang, appreciate you checking in, fam. Appreciate you checking in. Says, I want us to keep Jesse Bates, but if the Falcons know they are not going to give him an extension, then we need to explore trading him. I agree. I agree. Atlanta Bird Gang, I agree. And that's what I was saying. If they know, see, they're not going to tell us in press conferences. That's why I don't listen to press conferences. I don't listen to press conferences. Rarely do I listen to them, I should say. I don't like to listen to them. I don't like to listen to players in press conferences. None of that stuff. Because you're not going to get, in my opinion, the 100% truth. That's what I was just saying when I was like, we don't know the conversations that Matt Ryan and Arthur Blank and Kevin Stefanski, we don't know what the conversations they're having behind closed doors and the GM. We don't know. They tell us what they think we want to hear, but we don't know. And we have some guys that can do what Jesse Bates does. Jesse Bates is like the icing on the cake. Jesse Bates gives us more of a chance to win, but we can still win without him. So if you know that you're not going to re-sign him or extend him, I would most definitely look at ways to move him. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you know that you're not going to pay him what he's going to be requesting, and I think he's going to be requesting an arm and a leg. He's going to be wanting to break the bank. He's going to be wanting top safety, like the most money paid to a safety in NFL history. The Falcons have already loaded a lot of money on the offensive side of the ball. They got cheaper options that they can replace Jessie Bates with that can give them almost the same amount of production. Maybe not as much production as Bates, but they can give you like Bates will give you this, and the guys that we have, Hellums, and then we got a guy that we just signed from the Jets. These guys can give you together probably right there. So maybe. There we go. Y'all, I'm sorry. My sound went out. I had the mic off, y'all. I'm sorry. When y'all see that, when you see that, the light, like the little ring right here, when you see that light off, that means the mic is muted. So I had the mic muted. But my bad. But let me just repeat what I was saying. If you know for sure that you're not going to extend him, you need to get something for him. You need to get something for Jessie Bates. If you know that you're not going to pay him what he's going to be requesting, even though you know that you got a win now lined up this year, and I think that you do, you can't allow him to play this season and then just walk out next year, walk out in the offseason. You gotta get it. DK says Sydney has had a good camp, but I like Jesse's leadership. Yeah, Sydney has been pretty solid. He's been pretty solid. The thing with Jesse is that we know the leadership that Jesse brings is something that we definitely need this year on the defensive side of the ball. Why do I say that? Especially with you're not gonna get. Jalen Walker is done. He's done. We don't know yet what is going to happen with James Pierce Jr. I'm estimating that James Pierce Jr. is probably going to be suspended. I'm gonna split the baby. There's reports that say 6 games. There's reports that say 8 games. I'm going to split the baby and say 7 games. He's going to be suspended 7 games. So with the uncertainty around that, even though we have guys who are going to fill in well for those guys, I believe that you definitely need Jessie Bates on that defensive side of the football, just as a general on that defensive side of the football, because you've lost a lot. You've lost a lot in this offseason on the defense. You lost Caden Ellis, you lost Jalen Walker, and you lost James Pierce Jr. So you definitely want to keep that. You definitely want to keep your leadership intact this year. But at the same time, as Atlanta Bird Gang said, as much as we want to keep him, if you know that you're not going to extend him, then if you got to trade him. You have to trade him. That's the only caveat I'm going to put behind me wanting Jesse Bates to stay. I want him on the team because he's going to give us the best chance to win. But if the Falcons are planning, if they already know, and they know already, they know already whether or not they're going to extend him. If they have it in their minds that they're not going to extend him, trade him. I want you to trade him. I want you to trade him. Because you got options. You got options on the team that can take care of the when if he leaves. You got guys that can fill in. They're not gonna be better than Jesse Bates, but I think they can give you right there just below what he gives you. And if I have to deal with that, I'll rather deal with that rather than keep him this season and then allow that great player, that superstar safety, to just walk out and we don't get anything for him. I think that'll be a very dumb decision. Atlanta Bird Gang says, yeah, they know. Yeah, man. Yeah, they know. They know what they're gonna do. And that's why I wish they would be honest, which they're not. I get it. But that's why I want them to be honest. I want them to be honest in press conferences and stuff, which I know they won't. So that's why I don't listen to them. That's why I don't listen to them. I know they gonna blow smoke up my behind. So I choose to save my ears, the taking life out of my ears, listening to that folly. Hawk Talk TV, what's going on, fam? Hawk Talk TV in the building says, Bates should retire a Falcon. 6th round pick ain't enough to move off him. Yeah, it's all based on what you get back. Some with 2nd round picks. So it just depends. It just depends. But if they're looking at possibly, hey, the only thing we gonna get is like a 5th or 6th round pick for, no, man. No. I would take a couple of 2nd round picks. I'll take a couple of 2nd round picks for Jesse Bates because you can find some gems. You know, if you look at the outcome of the draft over the last handful of years, the best players are going in the 2nd round and beyond. It's not the 1st round. It's the 2nd round and beyond where you're finding the real dogs. And so I'm all for getting somebody in the 2nd round. I saw some, I doubt if they get like 1st rounders, but I've seen some reports about 2nd rounders. And I'll be cool with that depending on what position. I'll take another offensive lineman. I'll definitely take a offensive lineman for a 2nd round pick next year. I'll do that and take maybe another cornerback or a linebacker. Exactly. I will. EQRC, what's going on, fam? EQRC checking in saying Atlanta will have to pay Jesse a lot, so I believe he's gone. And Xavier Watts and that safety from Philly will save them money. Yeah, I agree. Man. Xavier Watts, they have the guys at a cheaper cost. That's not going, because here's the thing, even with the salary cap going up next year, you got a lot of money tied up on the offensive side of the football. They have a whole lot of money tied up on the offensive side of the football. With the money they paid Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan, and then they dropped the hammer on Bergeron. I'm not going to get into that whole Bergeron thing, but if you know, I wasn't crazy about the Bergeron contract, but hey, I'm also not mad at it. I'm not mad at it, but I'm not happy about it either. So they have options at cornerback. I mean, not at cornerback, but at the safety position that can offset the production if they get rid of Bates. And Jesse Bates is going to be wanting top safety money. He's going to be wanting like the highest paid safety money in the league. The Falcons not going to do that. They're not going to do it. I'm sorry, y'all. We all want Jesse. We all want him. We want him. Nobody is on here campaigning for the Falcons to get rid of him. But with the amount of money that they've thrown out here, you got to just look at it for what it is. They ain't going to pay him. If they pay him, I'll be more than happy to come back on here and say, hey, y'all, I was wrong. I was running my mouth. I was wrong. But these guys, you got other guys. You got guys like Jack Cash. You got guys like that. You got guys that's good who can fit. This team, not saying that we don't need Jesse Bates, but I think we can get by. I think the team is deep enough to get by. Rory says, I love Mike because he needs to watch a real pro in turn. Yep. I agree, Rory. I agree, dude. I really do, my man. Rory says, our GM love draft picks 2 or 3. Yep. Exactly. DK says, we got some promising undrafted guys. Jack Cash, Juice, and Bro. Yep. Oh, yeah, you mentioned Jack Cash. Yeah, I mentioned Jack Cash. They got good talent. We do, man. We got good talent on this roster, man. So, again, you can't just let that dude, you can't just let him walk. You can't let that dude just walk, man. You can't, he's too talented to just allow, that you're not going to sign him. If you know that already, it will be absolutely ludicrous. It'll be one of the dumbest things ever not to trade him. And they know. They know. Atlanta, what's going on? We got Atlanta fans, Fandemic in the building. What's going on, fam? He says veteran leadership is crucial if you want to be a contender. Maybe Jesse settles for a team-friendly deal. If not, we got to shop him. But this young defense need leadership. Exactly. Shout out to you, Atlanta fans, Fandemic. Appreciate you checking in, brother. Yeah, you got to get something. They need, especially with the amount of new pieces that they added, especially on that defensive side of the football. You need leadership. You got to have leadership. You got to have it. You got to have the guys that's already been there, that know the ropes and everything. These guys are young, especially they drafted some of those linebackers. You got a young dude in Terrell, his brother, the young brother that they just drafted. So it's you need that leadership. You really do. And that's why I think they're kind of like a rock in the hard place, the Falcons are, because I think they know that. But they're also looking down the line to know that they know that they're not going to pay him. I believe they know that they're not going to pay him. They, like, as Atlanta fans, Fandemic said, he's going to have to settle. He's going to have to settle for like a team-friendly contract. And if I'm Jesse Bates, man, I'm not going to give, I don't know. I just don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this happen, how this turn out. Because I don't know. He's going to have to settle for a lesser contract. the amount of money that he's going to be wanting, he's going to be wanting like top NFL history type money at the safety position. And the Falcons are not going to do that. Even though they're going to have a little bit more money next year to spend, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do it. And if you know that, if you already know that, you gotta shop him. You gotta find a deal for him. You gotta get something back in return for it, because you can actually make that defense even stronger by trading him. You can get a couple of maybe not this year stronger, but definitely next year stronger. You can most definitely do that if you rack up a few second round draft picks for Jessie Bates. And I think that's what they're going to be looking at. I think that's what they're going to be looking at. They're going to be trying to get guys like that. They're going to be trying to get guys like that's younger on that defensive side of the football, because that's what they're doing with the linebacker core. That's what they did on the defensive line with how they drafted the previous years with the defensive line in Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. So they're trying to get young too. Rory says, I think they want to get younger. Oh yeah, yep. That's what I said. Yep, I agree. They want to get younger. I think that's exactly what they want to do, man. Jessie Bates is kind of long in the tooth. He's long in the tooth. So I do believe that I do believe that that's one of the factors in which they're going to trade him. Wanting to get younger. Because on the offensive side of the ball, they're young. They're young on the skill positions. Man, the receivers are young, especially when you drafted Zachariah Branch. They're young. And, of course, Bijan is young. Brian Robinson got a little bit of, he's been in the league a little bit, but, I mean, he's not old. Lamade Zaccheaus is not old. Jahan Dotson is not old. Drake London is still a baby. And, it's going to be that's a good point, Rory. I think they want to get younger on the defensive side too. They've already started it. And I think with Jessie Bates, especially them drafting Little Terrell, I call him Lil Terrell. AJ Terrell's brother. I just say Lil Terrell. But yeah, they got Lil Terrell, man. They trying to get younger. So that could be another factor in them moving on from Jessie Bates. And that may be why teams are not really, the reports out there, the rumors out there, that's why a lot of them don't include like first round picks. That's why a lot of them don't include first round picks, because teams are kind of looking at him being up in age. So we'll see. Rory says Brown and Hellemar. Yep. Yeah, they young guys. They young guys. And then also, I don't know what they gonna do. They just got Keidron Smith off of waivers from the Jets. They did that a few days ago, I think. Thursday or so? They signed Keidron Smith. He was released by the Jets. Now, that ain't nothing to write home about, but I think that they are stocking up at that position, that defensive back position, the safety position. I think they're stocking up in an anticipation that either if Jessie Bates really is hurt, are they looking at him possibly starting the season on the injured list? I mean, I don't know. Are they know that he's going to be traded? We don't know. But they're bringing in. They brought in a lot of firepower, and they have a lot of firepower in the defensive backfield. So we'll see. We'll see. Atlanta Fandemic says, gotta be real with it too. We all love Jesse, but Jesse is from the previous regime, and just like Caden Ellis, there is probably a cap they want to play players from the Raheem era. Yep, could be true. Yep, because we were shocked. Atlanta Fandemic, fans Fandemic, we were shocked when they. Some of us were shocked with the Caden Ellis move. I know I did. I mean, I knew the financial, the compensation that Caden Ellis was wanting. I knew that was going to be a far reach for the Falcons to give a defensive player. But I was still shocked that they didn't sign him. They let him go. So anybody from that previous regime, and I'm glad you brought that up, Atlanta Falcon Fandemic. Appreciate you, brother. I'm glad you brought that up. This is what people who are attached to Michael Penix. And again, I'm not gonna get into this whole court. We've already talked about it. We'll talk about it again probably sometime this week. We'll get into this whole quarterback thing again, but that's what people need to understand about Michael Penix. The people who love Penix that have gotten attached to him, I don't know why. I love Michael Penix. He's a great guy, nice dude. He just seems like a solid guy, but I don't like Michael Penix style. I don't like his play on the field. I don't like it. I just don't. But a lot of people got to realize they think that Penix is not getting a fair shot to win the job, and they think that the team is being unfair with how they're treating him with bringing in the quarterbacks in there, although he's still injured, supposedly. But you got to realize they didn't draft Michael Penix. This regime did not draft Michael Penix. They don't have any type of loyalty to Michael Penix at all. So, yeah, they were going to bring in a boatload of competition for Michael Penix. Yeah, they were. They didn't draft him. They did not draft him. So that's what I try to get people to understand with Penix when they tell me that he hasn't been given a fair deal. And I 100% believe that Raheem Morris and that previous regime messed that young man up when they drafted him. Didn't play him in the preseason. Had him all out of rhythm. Didn't even know how to get the play from the sideline from the sorry offensive coordinator that we had, Zach Robinson. So they didn't do him any favors. So I believe they stunted that young man's growth. But at the same time, this present regime, they don't have any loyalty. They don't have any loyalty towards Penix. So you couldn't expect them to just, when they took over, to just say, y'all, Penix is a starter again, especially after what they saw on tape last year when he was playing. No, absolutely not. So good point. Appreciate that, Atlanta Falcons Fandemic, for bringing that up about the previous regime. That's what you got to understand. This stuff was done on the previous regime. Now, I was shocked when they gave, I want to say it was Kyle. Did Kyle Pitts get his contract extension first? I think it was Kyle Pitts and then Drake London, if I'm not mistaken. But I was shocked. And I think Kyle Pitts is getting ready to have like a Pro Bowl type season. Kyle Pitts is going to show some people up this year. I'm telling you. Mark my words. But I was shocked, though. I was fully expecting them to probably get rid of him. But You just don't know. Rory says Brown and Hellum are young vets. Sorry about the cutoff. Oh, nah, you good. No, you good, Rory. Are young vet. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I think they're trying, you got some experience with those guys still, but they're young. So I agree. So the team is not going to collapse as far as talent wise if Jesse Bates is traded. But you will lose on the side of leadership. That's where you're gonna get hit with the hardest. With the fact, if you get rid of Jesse Bates, if you trade him, you're gonna lose on the leadership side because he can he can dig off. He's got the respect of a superstar caliber veteran player who can chew off into those young dudes who can chew off in their behinds and get the best out of them. So I think that's where you're gonna probably miss him at the most. But talent wise, I don't think it's much of a gap between the young guys that we have that can take over for him and where he is right now. Atlanta Bird Gang says the injuries are a major concern for me with Penix. I just don't know if this kid can be durable enough in this league. That's my issue, Atlanta Bird Gang. That's my issue with Penix. This is why I personally want Jack Strand to start. Tua, if I can't get Jack Strand, yes, I'll take Tua. But Michael Penix, unfortunately, and it's a sad thing, the injuries have really decked his football, his quarterback abilities. It's just completely decked it, man. And it's sad. Injuries in college. Now he came into the NFL, got torn ACLs. So it's sad. It's sad, but I just don't think he can hold up for a full 17-game NFL season. That's why I lean towards Strand. Strand is a big guy. He does not have an injury history in college. And I think that he can take a little bit more of a pounding than Michael Penix and Tua. I think he kind of put me in the mind. Somebody said it on last week's live stream. I can't remember who said it, but they said you can compare his body type to like a young Ben Roethlisberger. I compared him, Jack Strand, to like a Josh Allen with the body type, the amount of blows that they can take. And how many times last year when we were like 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and we drop back and nobody's open down the field, and we don't have a quarterback that can tuck it in and get us 4 or 5 yards for a first down to keep the drive going. How many times did you see that happen? A whole bunch of times. So I like Jack Strand. I think Jack Strand is built for an NFL season. That's just my opinion. Atlanta Bird Gang says I don't think this new regime is as high on Penix as it may seem. Yeah, I know for sure they're not. You can definitely tell they're not high on Penix. Atlanta Bergen said Drake got paid. Okay, so Drake London got paid first. Okay, yep. Appreciate that, Atlanta Bird gang. DK says, I like to build around Jack next year if he pans out. They would give tons of cash for other players like San Francisco did Purdy. Yep, I feel you, DK. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic says, yes, sir, this 12-13 personnel offense with the quick release and accurate tool, Pitt should have a feast this season. Exactly. Exactly, man. That's what I'm telling. Hey, Atlanta Falcons pandemic. That's what I've been trying to tell people, man. I've been trying to tell people, watch out for Kyle Pitts this year. I'm telling you, watch out for him. Watch out. Him and Tua are a match made in heaven. With the way that Tua plays quarterback, him and Kyle Pitts, you couldn't draw it up. You couldn't get a cartoon artist to draw that up even better. It's, man, if that guy, let's say Tua's gonna start, I think that Tua is going to get the starting job. Even though I like Jack Strand, I think Tua is gonna get the starting job. If Tua can stay healthy, this offense is built to make Tua look like a MVP. Y'all, I'm telling you, this not me. Y'all gonna see when the season start. I'm gonna be the first one to criticize this team. I'm gonna be the first one to criticize them. Every time after the games, y'all gonna come on here and see me on here tearing stuff up if we go out there and stink it up. But right now, with what these guys look like, with Tua out there, this team can have some of the best offensive stats when it comes to our running backs, when it comes to our tight ends, and when we haven't even said anything about Austin Hooper. Hooper got some good hands. Hooper is more of a blocking tight end in my opinion, but Hooper is a guy with good hands, and we don't even talk about him. So, I mean, this offense is built to make Tua look like Tom Brady. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's built exactly to the way Tua likes to play football. EQRC says Tua will start but be knocked out after a couple of games with a concussion. Then Jack Strand should get to start. Yeah, that's what I don't have. That's why me personally, I would prefer to have Jack Strand just start the season. Because I think it's not much of a gap between Jack Strand and Tua. I think they both can do the same thing except Jack Strand is mobile. Jack Strand can get you yardage with his legs. But I'm just not I want Jack Strand to start because I don't want all of the in and out for quarterbacks. 1 week, this guy's hurt. He's hurt. Penix hurt. Tua hurt. Man, just get your guy in there that you know is going to be healthy. And then you got Tua right there in case of an emergency, break glass. In case of an emergency, hey, break this glass and pull Tua out of here and throw him out there. And you shouldn't miss anything, and hopefully he can stay healthy. But that's the scary part about Tua. That's the scary part about Tua and about Michael Penix. Is no matter how good the offense is, the skill player position, if those guys can't stay healthy, I mean, we don't have anything. We ain't got nothing. We don't have anything. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic says, I just don't see Stefanski or Alex Van Pelt having enough time to evaluate whether or not Penix can withstand a full season. I know he's young, but endurance counts in the NFL. Exactly. You got to be in availability. I want availability. I would take availability in a lot of cases in the NFL over just like pure raw talent. Now, sometimes the pure raw talent is just so good, you got to play them no matter, even with a crazy injury history, you just got to play them. But Michael Penix is not that type of dude. Michael Penix is not a guy that just has this mind-blowing talent back there to the point to where you just say, yeah, he's going to start. We know he got the injury history. We know he's coming off of a torn ACL. But we got to put him out there. We got to put him out there because he's just got that raw talent. He's not that type of dude. He's just not. So again, they don't have time to kind of to try to play the, in the scenario in their minds. Okay, is Penix gonna be healthy? Is Penix gonna be there for this? Is Penix gonna be there for that? Like, what should we do with Penix? What is he gonna play in this? No, I don't think they got time for that. I just don't. So I don't think that he can. I don't think that his body can endure a full season, and endurance, and as Atlanta Falcons fandemic say, endurance counts. Availability, without availability, you don't have anything. I mean, it don't matter. It don't matter how pretty. It don't matter how pretty your debit card is. It don't matter how shiny and new it is. If it's like the metal type card, if it's like real, like actual titanium made of steel, it don't matter how beautiful and shiny it is. If ain't no money in it, if ain't no money in that account, what's the point? It don't matter how pretty that card is. Ain't no money in there. You ain't gonna get nothing out of it. Oh boy. Rory says, Uncut, did you notice a lot of our free agents are from Super Bowl teams? Yeah, I noticed that, man. I know I haven't really just took the time to meditate on that. But if you look at the guys that they have signed from free agency has come from Super Bowl teams. Atlanta fans fandemic says you can feed off of what Matt Ryan said. We're going to give Penix everything he needs to get healthy. He didn't say we're going to give Penix everything he needs to get back to being the starter. Yeah, I don't think this is my Atlanta fandemic. This is what I think about what they're going to do with Penix. I don't think Penix is going to get. I don't think he's going to get the starting job this year. I think he's going to. Of course, probably Cooper Rush is going to be on the practice squad. I think they're going to carry 3 quarterbacks. I think they're going to have Tua as the QB1. Jack Strand is going to be QB2, and Penix is going to be on the depth chart as QB3. And with that being said, Penix is probably going to get traded. I don't think if Penix not winning this starting job, I think Penix, if he doesn't get traded before the trade deadline, I think most definitely he's going to be traded next offseason. They're going to trade. He's not going to want to stay there. They're going to trade him. So either way, I believe that we've probably seen the last time we've seen Penix for the last time. And I hate it. I hate it in the sense that I think the previous regime really screwed him up, and then with all the injuries and stuff, I just think I just hate it for that young man. But I don't think he's gonna be on the Falcons past this season. I think he might make it. If he makes it past the trade deadline, I don't think he's gonna make it past this next off season next year. I don't think he's gonna make it then. He's gonna get traded. Rory says Uncut. Well, I already read that one. Rory says Hooper know how to get open and has good hands. Yep. Hooper got great hands. Yep, Austin Hooper got great hands. So and people don't even talk about it. We don't even mention. I know I haven't. I know Atlanta fandemic has spoke about Hooper on this channel and everything. I know he has, but I know I haven't. I need to start talking about it more. So yeah, Hooper is going to be a great addition to that tight end position. And I like his hands. I like his blocking too as well. I think he's going to be big in the run defense. He's going to be better than Kyle Pitts because Kyle Pitts, in the past, have stunk blocking. So that's one thing I hope Kyle Pitts has worked on this offseason. I hope he's been working on his blocking because in the past, he done stunk with his blocking. DK says Tua just needs to be a point guard and we will win the South. Yeah, that's it. See, he don't even have to be. See, these guys, for those of y'all who don't know, this live stream was to discuss Jesse Bates and how this article on your screen, the guy from ESPN, and not just him, a lot of other guys are saying that the Falcons won't be contenders, mainly because of on the offensive side of the ball, the quarterback position, as well as the losing the two defensive ends, Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. But if Tua plays, we definitely are contenders. If Jack Strand plays, we definitely are contenders. But Tua, they don't have to be great. On this offense, Tua does not have to go out there and try to be Tom Brady. He don't have to do it. He do not have to try and be Tom Brady. Only thing he needs to do is to make sure he don't put the ball in harm's way. Don't try to do too much. If he stick to how he plays, that's how Tua ends up throwing a lot of interceptions. That's why he threw a lot of them last year, trying to do too much. He don't have to do that here. He don't have to do that. You got plenty. You're going to have the defenses that's going to be keyed in on Drake London. Also, you got the key in on Bijan because Bijan in the passing game is just as deadly as Zachariah Branch and Drake London. So it's going to be so many eyes on these other guys to where all the passes that Tua likes to make, what someone said earlier in the chat, those passes, the Falcons can eat defenses up all day, every day. And Tua, he's not going, and it's not going to even be him throwing the ball 40, 50 yards down the field. Now, it'll be nice to make some of those plays. He's going to have to make some of those throws, those long streaks, post routes. He's going to have to make those throws at times if he's starting. But he's not going to have to be perfect. If we get, man, let me tell y'all something. If we get average quarterback play out of Tua or Jack Strand, this team is going to win the NFC South easily. And as I've said 100 times, if they get into the playoffs, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So it's not even, so all this talk with them, these people, all this stuff with these people talking about the Falcons might as well trade Jesse Bates because they're not going to be in contention. That's insanity. That's insanity. But the Falcons should trade Jesse Bates because if they know they're not going to re-sign him. If they know they're not going to re-sign him, I think you need to trade him and get something back for him. DK says, what could they get for a healthy Penix when QBs start getting hurt in season? That's a good question, man. That's a good question. Now you would be able to get what? Let me think about that. I'm gonna think. I got to come back to that one, DK, because that's actually that's something to think about. I do think he's gonna get traded. I do think Penix is going to get traded if he doesn't get that number one QB1, which he's not. Uh, they gonna trade him. He's gonna want to get traded, and I think that they're going to trade him. Now, what can you get for him mid-season when quarterbacks start dropping like flies around the league and everything? That's something to think about. That's really something to think about, DK. That might be a topic of another video. Rory says he do have a phenomenal arm talent, Mike. That is, yeah, he has a great arm. Mike Penix has a great arm. Penix reminds me. This is where Penix reminds me of Michael Vick. And I know some of you gonna think I'm crazy. This is where Penix reminds me of Michael Vick. Penix has a great arm, but just like Michael Vick was not accurate. But Michael Vick made up for that talent deficiency. Even though he had a rocket of an arm, he can throw the ball 1,000 miles per hour. He can throw it 1,000 yards. But he had issues hitting open receivers. But where he made up for that was with his legs. That is what made Michael Vick so great. So that's the thing with Penix. He doesn't have the legs that Vick had to make up for his shortcomings in the passing game. So Penix has to be surgical. In order for him to be effective as a quarterback, he has to be dang near perfect at quarterback, because that's all he have is throwing the football. He can't use his legs. You see what I'm saying? So he has a great arm, but he's not accurate. He's not accurate. He telegraphs a lot of his passes. He stares his receivers down. And he don't have great footwork either. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Atlanta. The Atlanta fans pandemic says, I'm really not concerned about Tua sustaining a concussion like everybody else. We have a far better O-line in Miami. Yep, that's another thing to look at with the, like, if you're looking at the injuries, if injuries have you concerned about Penix as well as Tua, that's one thing that I think this year we should kind of be mindful of, is that the offensive line is way better than, if Tua is starting, the offensive line is much better than Miami. Now, if you were to put the offensive line that we have in Atlanta, even the line that we had last year, if you took them and placed them with Caleb McGarry and you placed them in Miami, there's no telling how good Miami would have been last year. I mean, there's no telling. It really is no telling. So that's what you have to think about when it comes to Tua, like just assuming that he's going to get hurt. Now, he's definitely injury prone. He's definitely injury prone. And again, I just can't get that look out of my I can't get that look out of my eye. Every time I think about Tua, I just think about him that night. I was watching that game live, and I'm just looking at his hand was all like, oh, man. Woo! That's still free. I had trouble eating for a while after I saw that. I'm telling you, that was like the nastiest something. that was something nasty, right? I didn't know that was a concussion. I thought something was wrong to do. I thought he broke all the fingers on his hand or something. I don't know. But that wasn't a pretty sight to see. But putting him behind this offensive line, I think it's going to be much better. I think it's going to be much better than the credit that they give him. You got to account for that offensive line. You really got to. Rory says Tua has blinking and dunking. That's it. Yep, he definitely prioritizes like the short range. He can throw it long too. But he prioritized those short passes. And that's what I was saying as far as him being a match made in heaven for Kyle Pitts and also guys like Bijan Robinson. Because if you got guys down the field like Drake London and Zachariah Branch, I think those guys are gonna have big seasons too with Tua. But there's gonna be so many eyes on Drake London and Zachariah Branch. I mean, you can eat defenses up all day with Tua and Kyle Pitts, especially down there in that red zone. Especially in that red zone. So I think, yeah, he specialized in those little short passes, Rory. But I think it's gonna really be, I think it's really gonna be beneficial for the type of offense that the Falcons, that Kevin Stefanski is gonna be trying to run. Oh no, you good, Rory, man, you good, brother. Atlanta Fandemic says reality is Penix is behind the eight ball. If he doesn't make it on the roster, the draft is legit 25 quarterbacks deep with developmental QBs that teams will take a shot at. Yep. And I can't remember if it was in a live stream. I talked about that a while ago. But also another option with Penix, if they don't trade, let's say that if none of the quarterbacks work out this year, which I do. I hope that that's not the case. I hope that we don't have the case in which none of these guys give us anything this year. That's when I said that we most definitely, if that is the, I think that Tua, if Tua has a bad, let's say we start Jack Strand QB1. Jack Strand stinks it up. Tua comes in, stinks it up. I don't think it's we got Penix, we going to Penix now. I think if those two stink it up this season, if Tua gets hurt and then Jack Strand comes in and stinks up the joint, then most definitely the Falcons are going to be in the draft next year for a quarterback. Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. They're going to be drafting a quarterback again next year in the draft. Whether it be in the second round, that's why it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Jesse Bates. Because you trade Jesse Bates, you can get a few of those, you can get a few second round draft picks. So that's why it's going to be very interesting, because you can possibly get your franchise quarterback in this next upcoming draft. Now, I think we got a guy in Strand. I'm hoping we do, but I'm also hoping that if Tua is QB1, I'm hoping that Tua can lead us to where we're trying to go. But yeah, most definitely, they're gonna be in the draft. It's not gonna be this. Tua got hurt this year and Jack Strand came in and stunk it up. We'll give them another season. No, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do. They drafting another quarterback. Rory says. Rory says he also doesn't hold the ball long. Yeah, that's the thing that aggravate me with Penix. Penix hold the ball too long, man. He hold the ball, don't hold the ball. He do a lot of second guessing. You know, Tua don't hold on to the football. Jack Strand don't hold on to the football. Tua holds on to the football. He holds on to the football way too long. And that's one of his biggest downfalls. Atlanta Fandemic says we just may be in the draft for a quarterback regardless of how anyone plays. we might, man. I don't know. We might. I really think they banking. Atlanta Fans Pandemic says Jack Strand needs a legit full season of development, maybe two, but I think he's a fast learner. Yeah, I think I like it. I like his smart. He looked like he got a high quarterback IQ. I've heard some reports about how guys are impressed with how well he diagnosed defenses, how well he throws receivers open, and that's something that these guys they're not learning that in college anymore. They're not throwing receivers open. They're not reading deep. They're just putting those guys back there in the shotgun and the pistol and just having the guys throw the football. But I've heard that they're saying that he's good diagnosing defenses, good at checking out of plays, good at reading blitzes and all of that stuff. So he got the smarts to play quarterback. He really does have the smarts to play, as far as what I'm hearing. But yeah, he may need a couple of years. Man. It just all depends on what the plan, what the outlook that this regime have for this team. Do they really want to win? Are they really looking to win this year and beyond? Or are they coming in trying to have a undercover rebuilding phase, which I don't think that they're doing, because you don't pay the players on the offensive side of the ball the way that you paid them if you're rebuilding. So I highly doubt that, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, man, to see exactly what they do with Jack Strand, especially if Jack Strand goes out there and has a good season this year. That's going to be something to see. Rory says, what QB that's worth a first? Um, are you saying like what quarterback is worth a first round pick? So yeah, that's the that's the whole thing, man. People are calling the Falcons pretenders. I don't believe that. Now look, I know it's gonna be some struggles. It's gonna be some struggles at time. It's gonna be some struggles, man. It's not gonna be all peaches and cream. But to say that this team is not built to win, to say that this team is not built to win now, and that's why you would trade Jesse Bates. No, you don't trade Jesse Bates with that way of thinking. You trade him if you know you're not going to extend him. You go ahead and shop him. No matter how you feel about if you're in it to win this year or not, you go ahead and shop him. You get what you can for him, and then you set yourself up for, if this quarterback situation don't work out this year, next year you could be in the draft and possibly get you a high, top two, maybe a second or third round quarterback. So you got to be smart about it. Yeah, I don't know what quarterback, Rory. So that's what you meant. What quarterback that's worth a first? Um, uh, man, y'all tossing some good stuff some good questions at me tonight, man. uh, Let me write this down. I'm gonna write that down, Rory. Y'all giving me some video ideas. What Earth first? Check with me. Stay tuned, Rory. I know you always stay tuned, Rory. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about that in a later video, man. I want to do some thinking on that. I want to do some thinking on that one. Dan DK says Jack studies astro engineering in college, won many awards. Yeah, that would explain why they say he's so smart, why they say he's so smart with play calling and reading the defenses and stuff and all of that. So that would explain it. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic says Stefanski is clearly stating that this is a foundation building year for us. So I'm unsure as to what his angle is. Is it just a build, or are we shooting for the stars? See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Atlanta fans, Falcon Fandemic. I don't know. And see, you don't get the truth. You don't get the truth in these press conferences. They say one thing, but they can be feeling the whole different way behind closed doors. So again, that's what I was saying about, like, what do they feel? Do they feel like we are win now? Do they feel like this year this team can win? Or is it just us as fans that see this on paper and we see these guys at camp and everything, and we're looking and we're saying, hey, man, this team is pretty good. This team can win right now. Are they feeling the same way? They're not going to tell us in no press conference. They'll throw little hints out there, like saying this is like a foundation building season. But that's not telling us, hey, we're going to look, y'all, this season, don't have any expectations. We're rebuilding this year. We're going to trade Jesse Bates. We're going to do this to try to bring in draft capital. We're going to rebuilding our secondary, all of that. They're not going to tell us that. So, hey, guys, give us a couple of years. So, I don't know. I don't know. I think that we can win right now. But what they're thinking behind closed doors, I don't know, man. Yep. So, guys, we've been going about 2.5 hours, man. We're going to go ahead and end this thing right now. Shout out to all y'all that have tuned in. Man, I appreciate y'all. God bless y'all, man. Everybody, Rory, Atlanta Falcons Fandemic, go subscribe to his channel if you're not already. I'm sure a lot of y'all know about him already. Head over to him and subscribe. Dan K, DK, I'm going to call you DK now, man. Appreciate you letting me know, because I was butchering your YouTube name, man. So yeah. Man, I appreciate you, DK. Rory, shout out to you, Rory. Everybody, Atlanta Bird Gang, EQRC, appreciate you. Hawk Talk TV, appreciate you, brother, man. I thank y'all. Everybody that tuned in, man. Y'all have a great Sunday evening. Be safe out there. Be safe at work tomorrow. We're going to check y'all on the next live stream, which will be tomorrow night at 8:45. So make sure that you hit that notification bell so you know when we heading in the building. So God bless y'all, man. I'll see y'all on the next one.